Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Yes, Donkey of the Day for Thursday, May 5th goes to 23-year-old Isaiah Lee and the security at the Hollywood Bowl. If you don't know who Isaiah Lee is, he is the man, or should I say person, because I don't know what he identifies as, who got pummeled, mollywopped, got their whole block knocked off at the Hollywood Bowl because he was in the audience at Netflix as a joke and decided to rush the stage armed with a blade-firing fake gun. Never even heard of such thing. And that is the reason the Hollywood Bowl is getting some of this biggest hee-haw, because how did Isaiah Lee get into the venue with a blade-firing replica gun? More on that in a moment, but let's go to ABC 7 for the report, please.
Make some noise for hip-hop history.
A cell phone camera in the audience captures the moment a man runs on stage at the Hollywood Bowl and tackles comedian Dave Chappelle. Chappelle falls back but frees himself as security rushes on stage to grab the attacker. Exclusive video from Air 7 HD shows 23-year-old Isaiah Lee being rushed to a local hospital after the incident. Police say he was armed with a knife.
I am going to kill that.
Chappelle was not injured in the attack and later joked with the audience about it.
Wait, I gotta say that.
Chris Rock, who was also performing at the Hollywood Bowl, came back on stage and joked, "Is that Will Smith?" A reference to the Oscar incident where Smith came on stage and slapped Rock. There was concern the Oscars incident would embolden others to rush on stages like this. It's unclear if it played a role in Lee's actions. Authorities now charging the 23-year-old with assault with a deadly weapon. And Lee's bail set at $30,000. A security guard here at the Hollywood Bowl did tell me the weapon in question was actually made out of plastic. Now, police haven't confirmed that information, but it would explain how he was able to get it through the metal detectors.
Now, Chris Rock made a joke after this washing happened. He said, "Was that Will Smith?" Well, it wasn't, because Will Smith would have been allowed to stay, and nobody would have laid a finger on him. But seriously, these are much different circumstances than the Will Smith situation. And if watching Will put hands on Chris Rock at the Oscars was traumatizing to some comedians, Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, then this incident right here might make you consider retirement. Okay? See, we know why Will Smith was, at the Oscars. We even know why Will reacted the way he did. Doesn't make any of it right, but we have some understanding. Okay, there was history between Chris Rock and Will Smith. Will clearly snapped. He had enough of the jokes, and he reacted emotionally, and he made a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake, and Chris Rock did not deserve that. But once again, we have an understanding of that situation, and that situation is only going to happen once in a generation. Okay, do you think we will ever see one of the biggest stars in Hollywood on his biggest night when he's going to win an Oscar walk on stage and slap another superstar at the Oscars? Do you really think we will ever see that again? Probably not. But what happened at the Hollywood Bowl could literally happen every night. Okay, some human, for whatever reason, decided to rush the stage and assault you. That could happen every night. Comedians, trust me when I tell you, it's a higher percentage you run into an Isaiah Lee before you run into a Will Smith. And based off that, my first observation is, how does Isaiah Lee get into that venue with that blade-firing knife? You know how I tell y'all all the time, we as humans are the first line of defense against crazy, simply by our behavior. Every day we are trusting other humans to be able to control themselves, to be able to act right, to keep us safe. So when we're in these venues, when we're in these establishments, especially as a performer, I am trusting you, the venue, to keep crazy to a minimum. Okay, everyone should be searched properly. Why? Because we have to make sure to keep everyone safe. Hollywood Bowl, y'all failed every single person in that venue, not just Dave Chappelle. Because if you can get in with a replica of a gun, you probably can get in with a real one. That man actually tackled Dave. What if he would have charged Dave with the knife drawn? I know we can all look back and say, I'm glad that didn't end horribly, but it could have, all because of the negligence of the security at the venue. What if Dave would have got stabbed in the stomach? What if he would have got stabbed in the neck? If that would have happened, this conversation would have been totally different, and more people would be talking about the failure of the building. Now, you heard the security guard at the venue. He did tell ABC 7 this. Listen.
And Lee's bail set at $30,000. A security guard here at the Hollywood Bowl did tell me the weapon in question was actually made out of plastic. Now, police haven't confirmed that information, but it would explain how he was able to get it through the metal detectors.
Yeah, hasn't been confirmed, but they said it was plastic. I saw the pics. Knife didn't look plastic to me, but whatever. You're still getting some of this hee-haw because clearly security at the venue was lacking, and I know this for 3 reasons. 1, because he got in with this replica gun and knife. 2, it's way too much cell phone footage from this incident. If you ever been to a Dave Chappelle show, then you know they treat your phone like a weapon. Okay, everybody's phone gets confiscated. So I'm seeing way too many cell phone angles, which lets me know folks weren't doing their job. And the third reason I know they weren't doing their job, security, is because audience members said so. Audience members said the venue security was non-existent. Okay? End quote. Now, Isaiah Lee, 23 years old of LA, simple question, brother. Why? He actually recorded a song called Dave Chappelle that he posted in June of 2020. And according to trusted news outlet Fox News, he says in the song, walking straight into the bowl. Can we hear some of that, Red?
Walking straight into the bowl.
Oh. Can I hear some of the hook of the Dave Chappelle thing? We got to hear that? We don't got that?
Play. Oh, laughing, she's a joke. Laughing, look at the joke. Hit a bit bass, me bow. I'm laughing, roll into the bowl.
Okay.
Walking right to the bowl.
You gonna play that in the mix with me? You're not gonna play that in the mix?
No.
Okay. Listen, I know we live in an era where folks love clout. Folks love attention. Folks want to go viral by any means necessary. They don't care how their name shows up in Google searches as long as it shows up. So this dude, Isaiah Lee, is probably loving the attention. Not just loving the attention, but probably thinking about how he can profit off of this, okay? Whether it's a lawsuit or another song, I don't know, charging for an interview, who knows? All I know is drop on the clues bombs for Dave Chappelle's team for beating his monkey ass, okay? It brought me great joy to see that human on that gurney, swollen, bleeding, arm on backwards, handcuffed. Not because I love violence, not because I want to see him hurt, none of that. I enjoyed it because everyone has to deal with the consequences of their actions. This generation thinks it's no consequences. So when I see people receive consequences like that, okay, getting beat up and jail time, oh, it warms my heart, okay?
Me too.
His bail is too low, though. $30,000 is too low. In fact, he should have no bail. No bail. And every time he goes to the toilet, they should handcuff his good arm. So when he poops and has to wipe, it has to be with the bad arm. Wouldn't you just love to see that? That's what I want to see go viral. Record that. Oh, I love it. The moral of the story is this is proof that there are always consequences to your actions. Before you act, make sure you're prepared for them. Please give Isaiah Lee the biggest hee-haw. Matter of fact, let Remy Ma give Isaiah Lee the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
There you go.
I ain't mad at it. Anytime you jump on stage, you should get your ass whooped just like that.
I love
Just
seeing
like that.
consequences to people's actions.
You jump, and now every comedian, every artist that's performing, somebody jump on stage, they're gonna be traumatized because they're gonna think it's a guy with a gun with a knife on it.
That should traumatize you. Like I said, the Will Smith situation, you're not gonna see that, but maybe once in a generation, depending on what multiverse you in. But Isaiah Lee, you more likely to run into that. So it's good to see him deal with the consequences of his actions. Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.